Hey guys and girls, this is Dr. Mac here to help you get ready for the ACT quiz for next week. This is problem 39 from our ACT diagnostic test. And in this problem, tourist agency is trying to get some data about how many cities the average tourist would visit. So they did a sampling, they took a poll. 10 tourists visited one city in Spain, 40 tourists visited two cities in Spain, and the remaining 50 tourists out of this 100 tourist sample visited three cities. And they want to know what's the average number of cities per tourist. And you might notice that a couple of those distractor answers in the question were 2 and 3. And that's to try to trap you into thinking that the average tourist actually exists. So think about the statement that's here in red. The average family in America has 1.94 children under the age of 18. Well, I don't know how you get 1.94 children unless you manage to get out hacksaws and things like that and actually get rid of zero point 0.6 of a child. That's absolute nonsense, right? So we know that there is no family in America that has 1.94 children exactly, right? So that means that probably there's a lot of families that have two. There's some that have one. There's a few that have three. There's some that are childless. So you've got a spectrum of possibilities. So what does it mean when we have 1.94 children under the age of 18? And I promise you, no beautiful young children were harmed in the making of this video. So what does that mean? It means that if we added up out of the families that had children or that we sampled, if we added up the total number of children that were in those families and divided by the number of families that we sampled, that number works out to be 1.94. So now, of course, there is no family with exactly 1.94 children. That's just saying this is the numerical result of that process. So how do we figure out this question here? Well, what we want to know is the average cities, the average number of cities. The average number of cities equals the total number of cities visited divided by the total number of tourists. So the important thing here is that when we do this calculation, it doesn't have to end up being an integer number. It's free to be any rational number that we would want, because the total number of cities visited is going to be an integer, the total number of tourists is going to be an integer, and this is going to be something that is integer over integer, so this is going to be a rational number. So let's figure out what that is going to be. Well, we have 10 people who visited one city. That means I have 10 times 1 cities visited for those 10 people. Then for the 40 people who visited two, that is 40 times 2 cities that they visit. And then for the people who visited three cities, that is 50 times 3. Divide that by 100, because we know there are 100 tourists. So what does that end up adding up to? That is 10 times 1 plus 40 times 2. That is 90 plus 150, which is 50 times 3. That is 240 over 100, or 2.4. So the average tourist visited 2.4 cities. is there any person in that sample who visited exactly 2.4 cities? Of course not, because we don't have individual people make 4/10 of a city visit. That's just saying that the typical number of cities were somewhere between 2 and 3. So that is our final answer, 2.4. It's not 2, it's not 3, even though half the people visited 3 cities, and that would be the mode. The average number visited was 2.4. So that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for watching.